So, one of the coolest things that I'm able to do with my life, and really anybody is just the trick is being able to kind of keep your emotions in check and your thoughts in check and pushed in the direction that you want it to, rather than just kind of letting your mind kind of go wherever it wants to go. There's a incredibly famous book which most people probably have heard of, not everybody's probably read. It's like one of the biggest things that like have made a difference or change in my life positively is Think and Grow Rich. But he talks about, like, when your mind is kind of like a garden. Like, if you just let it go wherever it wants and let it be unkept, it's eventually going to kind of like lose the beautiful abundant grass that you're looking for, and more likely to acquire the weeds that you're not looking for. But if you really kind of like, the grass is always greener where you water it, if you really kind of cater to it and really mind and point it in the direction that you want it to grow, you're more likely to grow the beautiful abundant grass that you're looking for, and therefore like avoid the things that you don't want, the weeds. But your mind is like very similar as well, as that if you don't, again, it comes from Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. But if you leave it unkept, it's more likely to grow kind of what you don't want it to, rather than pointing in the direction you do want it to. And one of the coolest things about our lives is manifestation, meaning that if you really just kind of focus on exactly what it is that you want and where you want to go with it, that you're more likely to get those things, and what you focus on grows. The reason that I'm saying this is that essentially during the manifestation process, really what the thing is that you've got to be really clear about what you want, because if you're not clear about what you want, it's kind of like hard to be able to get there. It's kind of like I've always said, like, Michael Phelps, if they just said, just swim and we'll tell you when he got there, it's harder to get there if he knew like exactly where he needed to get to, so that he could really envision that and focus on that and manifest that and push himself into that finish line, and know how fast he's got to get there to beat the world records, etc. But really during the manifestation process, I really believe that like the universe, as you focus on it more and more and more, the universe says, like, okay, this is the time to really think about what you want, and that's the time to stop what you're doing, and really it's like, okay, well, this is, I want to be $1 million producer, I want to do whatever, there'll be this little blips in your mind that says, like, okay, now focus on that, and stop everything you're doing and just focus as intently as you can, and close your eyes and see yourself in the future, really having that. And that's really what the kind of the key about manifestation is being thankful and grateful for the abundance which you've received, almost feeling it right now, even though it's in the future, and pushing yourself into the future, pushing yourself almost ahead of yourself, and receiving that. So the minute that you kind of like, if it says like, okay, focus on that, stop what you're doing and focus on what you want. And again, remember that what you focus on grows, and what you focus on incredibly intently is very likely to happen. And again, going back to the garden, your mind is the same thing. If you let your brain just kind of like dictate where you want to go, you're more likely to get weeds in your garden and in your brain. But if you really kind of focus on the abundance, and you focus on what it is that you want, and you're very thankful for it right now, almost like you have that thing right now and you're very grateful for it, you're more likely to get it. So be really cognizant and very mindful of those times when the universe says, okay, like, focus on what you want because I'm trying to give it to you. And then you stop, you close your eyes if you have to, and really just kind of focus on it and say, thank you. And gratitude is a big part of that as well.